What's going on, everyone? So there has been, of course, a lot of head coach Darvin Ham slander through the first two games. A lot of it is just people throwing out blame that Darvin Ham and the Lakers are struggling because of Darvin Ham and holding no players accountable, not holding Anthony Davis accountable for going zero, laying a goose egg in the second half of the Denver game, that guys aren't hitting shots, guys aren't hustling and getting rebounds, guys are missing assignments and stuff. There's no accountability for the players. It's all Darvin Ham's fault, even though Darvin Ham is what? He's supposed to get the rebounds and hit the shots and do all that stuff, right? I think that there needs to be accountability across the board, but I just feel like a lot of people want that one scapegoat. Right? If it's not D'Lo or if it's not, Gabe Vincent, it's Darvin Ham or it's, whatever. It's everybody except for the team, because you win as a team, you lose as a team, right? The head coach, his job stops once they actually get to the game, right? It's up to the players to deliver. Yes, it's up to the head coach to make substitutions. It's up to the head coach to call timeouts, things like that. Which even then people complain about Darvin Ham and his timeout usage. But the way that the games have been going, I mean, if Darvin Ham used timeouts the way that people want Darvin Ham to use timeouts, the Lakers would have no timeouts going into the second half. Like, literally, all of their timeouts would be burnt by halftime. And there's been a lot of questions, primarily about his rotation. People are upset with the way that he's rotating players. And a couple things about that. One, Darvin Ham himself said that they were going to test and try different rotations early on in the season, that they were going to do it in preseason and do it early on in the regular season. And the consensus was perfect. That makes a lot of sense. You have this deep roster, right? You need to experiment. You need to get different looks. How do you know what lineups work and which players are best together unless you throw some stuff out, right? And now that he's doing that through the first two games, there is this panic that's Darvin Ham's rotations are awful. Like, what is Darvin Ham supposed to do, right? You look at this roster again. At some point, the players need to hold accountability. But secondly, right, like the consensus or like complaints that I see is like, how come we haven't seen Max Christie? Right? Like, is Max Christie going to be the decider over these last few games? Right? Is Max Christie going to be able to defend Kevin Durant, Jamal Murray? Right? Or was Cam Reddish able to do that? Who he played excellent defense against Jamal Murray, played excellent defense against Kevin Durant. Problem is, those two guys, especially Kevin Durant, are superstars, right? They're the stars of the league. They're going to go get theirs. It's just about slowing them down. Cam Reddish in that Suns game was doing everything he could defensively. That dude was playing excellent defense, right? Being physical, everything. Kevin Durant was just being Kevin Durant, hitting shots. It happens. Now, there are complaints about like Rui Hachimura. Okay, I can kind of understand, maybe getting Rui Hachimura some more minutes. But like the Denver series, he hasn't been hitting shots. Like, at what point do we hold players accountable for missing shots? Like Gabe Vincent is 0 of 10, right? From 3-point range. Hit some shots. People are like, why are we playing Gabe Vincent so much? Because defensively, he's been great. Like, look what he did in that fourth quarter for the Lakers. He was huge in that game. Right? Like, we don't win if it's not for Christian Wood and his defense on Kevin Durant and Gabe Vincent and his point of attack defense. I mean, they created 7 turnovers alone in that fourth quarter because of the defense we were putting out there and the guys we were going out there. But more than anything, you got to try different stuff, right? You got to throw, I made entire videos about it. Right? Like, let's get weird. Let's try different things. Let's throw out different looks. Let's throw lineups that maybe look a little unorthodox and look a little crazy. Like even the 3-guard lineups, like, I don't know what people are complaining about with that. Right? Like, one, Ham hasn't been playing like Gabe Vincent, D'Lo, and Reeves a bunch. Like, a lot of people are like, what's with these 3-guard lineups when like Cam Reddish or Taurean Prince are in the game? They're not guards, they're forwards, right? Like Taurean Prince is like 6'7" and has been primarily a power forward his entire career. And Cam Reddish is 6'8" with a 7'1" wingspan. having a lineup out there of like Gabe Vincent, D'Angelo Russell, Rui Hachimura, Anthony Davis and LeBron James, that's not a 3-guard lineup, right? Or having Taurean Prince out there with, Cam Reddish and Wood and, D'Lo and Reeves is not a 3-guard lineup, right? Like, so Darvin Ham has done a solid job. Guys just aren't hitting shots, right? Like, for example, here's a great example. One, if you don't experiment and you don't try stuff, you would never have came to the realization that Christian Wood should be guarding Kevin Durant. I talked all season about Christian Wood and his defense out on the perimeter and how you could probably even play him at the 3 in spots and have him defend certain guys. A lot of people thought that was silly and foolish. Darvin Ham even played Christian Wood at the 3 in summer or in preseason, and he did an excellent job. And guess what? Darvin Ham experimented, threw Christian Wood out there, and guess what Christian Wood did? Slowed down Kevin Durant to the point where we were able to win the game. If Darvin Ham doesn't experiment, we don't come to that conclusion, right? Do you know what one of our best lineups were in the Denver series? One of the best lineups in the Denver series was without a big man and Rui and LeBron James at the 4 and the 5 to close, what was it, the third quarter, I think it was, or second quarter? And we outscored them by it was 12-2 or something like that, 12-4. That was literally our best lineup of that game, right? But is that something you want to necessarily play long-term against Denver? No. But you know what that tells us? Okay, well, if we're playing like the Warriors, we could probably throw that out there and have some success, right? Like, we need to see an experiment early on. Once we get, 20, 30 games into the season, then we'll start to have that understanding of, okay, these are the guys, these are the core guys, these are the guys that we're going to play regularly. Taurean Prince plays great alongside Austin Reeves, right? So let's always keep Reeves and Prince out there as many minutes as possible. You need to start finding those configurations. You're never going to find that unless you experiment. You don't want to experiment come the playoffs. You don't want to experiment come post-trade deadline. You want to experiment now. And in the same breath, I understand we need to win as many games as possible, right? You don't want to start the season 2-10 because we're experimenting with lineups that just aren't working. Now, a lot of it, again, I think just defaults to guys not hitting shots, right? Like, Darvin Ham's lineups haven't been that bad. Like, I was doing the watch-along stream, and people were talking about us going small, and we literally had a lineup of Jackson Hayes, Cam Reddish, Rui Hachimura, Taurean Prince, and I think it was who was? I think it was D'Lo. It might have been D'Lo, something like that. It was like those 5 guys out there, and people were complaining that we were going too small against Denver, who didn't even have Jokic out there, and we're running a 6'8" center. Like, what? You have two, or I don't think it was Christian Wood, or I don't think it was Cam Reddish. I think it was Christian Wood. I think that's what it was. Because I remember in the live stream saying, no, wait a minute. We have a 7 foot, a 6'10", and a 6'8" guy in the front court, and then you have, a 6'7" and a 6'5" backcourt. So again, it's a catch-22, right? If Darvin Ham just stuck with 8 guys and the Lakers aren't winning, people are going to scream, oh, you need to experiment. Why aren't you getting this guy minutes, right? You're already hearing it with Max Christie, right? Why isn't Max Christie seeing the floor? Why isn't what does he solve? Cam Reddish is big, fast, strong, physical, 6'8", 7'1" wingspan, right? He's been great defensively. Right now, you need him. You don't have Jared Vanderbilt. When Jared Vanderbilt comes back, maybe you try Max Christie a little more at the 2 guard. But right now, it's you need that big, sizable, quick, young, athletic wing. Okay, put in Cam Reddish. There's the problem solved. Right? And also, again, if guys start hitting shots, some of these units will look better because guys will start hitting shots. At the end of the day, look, we got this team with all this depth and all this talent, and they're all NBA players. it shouldn't matter what unit we put out there. They need to perform and play up to snuff. Now, obviously, some units are going to work better than others just because of fit and things like that. But even if you do have a little awkward style of just unit out there, it doesn't negate them being able to hustle and get rebounds and not turn the ball over and hit wide open shots and all the things, all the basic fundamentals that go into the game of basketball. That's not the coach's fault. If the coach puts out, Jackson Hayes, Christian Wood, Cam Reddish, Taurean Prince, and Austin Reeves, and nobody hits shots, then that's not on the coach. Right? And you have to let guys marinate. When's the cutoff? What, are you supposed to play guys 2 minutes and then go, okay, well, that's it? Right? And then people even complained about Darvin Ham sticking with the fourth quarter unit. And it's like, why? Why? People were upset that he pulled LeBron James after the 4 minutes. And I understand. I completely get that. I understand the frustrations that fall into that because it's like, we were drawing momentum, we were picking it up. But the whole point is, you have this deep, talented roster. The whole point is you don't need LeBron James. Yes, that was a game that maybe we could have won, but it also might or not have mattered, right? Every time we got over the hump, even with LeBron in the game, we would get we're within 3, within 4, boom, Denver would extend the lead. It just wasn't our game. It wasn't our night. We weren't hitting shots, right? But we got to experiment. You got to try different things. And Darvin Ham hopefully sticks with the units that work. Like in the Suns game, this unit was working. It was killing it in the fourth quarter. He stuck with it the entire fourth, and we won the game, right? Like those are the things that I hope Darvin Ham does. And if he doesn't, then yes, let's criticize him. But over the first 3 quarters, him trying different units and different lineups, that's what he's supposed to be doing. Especially 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 10th game of the season. You need to find out who are your players that you can rely on. Who are the guys that are supposed to be good that just aren't doing their job? Which guys are the surprise guys? Again, if Darvin Ham would have done the units or, tried the different looks that many people want, we wouldn't have had Christian Wood in there to go defend and put him on. I mean, most people believe Christian Wood is a terrible defensive guy. Darvin Ham's doing what he's supposed to do. So let's let things unfold. Let's see how the Lakers look 20 games, 25 games in the season. I know some people are going to look at it and go, well, at that point, it could be too late. At that point, we could also be 20-5, right? Let's let things play out before we just assume that we're going to be terrible or that it's going to be good or whatever, right? Again, let things play out. But anyways, always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? Do you agree with me in my points? Do you disagree with me? That's what this is all about. Having a conversation. Let me know down in the comments. Don't forget to like the video. Hit that subscribe button. See you all in the next one. Thank you.